I wanted to relive one of the craziest NFL games I've ever seen. So I popped in the AFC divisional round between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. And not only was it better than I remembered from start to finish, but I almost forgot how legendary a performance this was, not only by Josh Allen, but Gabriel Davis, as he went for 8 receptions, 201 yards, and 4 touchdowns in a historic performance. And so I paid more attention to how this happened, and it was clear. The Chiefs' #1 goal was to completely shut out Stefon Diggs, and they did, only holding them to 3 receptions for 7 yards. And I think Josh Allen realized this very quickly, so not only was he throwing it to Gabriel Davis, but he started looking for him first. And Davis kept winning his matchups over and over. And you can almost see the trust he had in this young second-year receiver almost build exponentially throughout the game, where he started looking for him first, throwing with anticipation, and counting on him to always be there and come down with it, even in the game's biggest moments. So if we're looking around the landscape of the league, I'm going to show you why we should expect Gabriel Davis to have a breakout 2022 season and not only solidify himself as the #2 on this Bills team, but I think seeing the traits that Davis has, the Bills are hoping that he can become the second piece to a Mike Evans, Chris Godwin-like connection with Stefon Diggs. And this is a huge leap because last year he was arguably the 5th option on this team behind Stefon Diggs, Cole Beasley, Emmanuel Sanders, and Dawson Knox, who all had more receptions and yards. And how this video is going to be structured is we are going to look at a lot of film to make our case for this claim, and not only explain why he wasn't the #2 throughout the majority of the season, but grasp conceptually on why the stars are aligning for this breakout season. And I think the Chiefs winning that divisional game is going to have a lot to do with Gabriel Davis's success early in the season. I think early on, any team that plays the Bills are going to steal the blueprint to double Diggs in some way on every single play. And I think them drafting James Cook, who's an excellent receiving back out of the backfield, and the litany of slot receivers they have like Jamison Crowder, Isaiah McKenzie, and Khalil Shakir will take a lot of attention from linebackers. And I think this is going to allow Davis to have a lot more opportunities for plays to be designed for him, because last year he ran a lot of clear routes, he ran a lot of backside digs, and he got the ball when Josh Allen broke the pocket or he was able to get to his backside reads. But with all of that laid out, let's hop into some film to show you exactly what I mean. So when you have a guy with the talent like a Gabriel Davis, why wasn't he the clear #2 option on this Bills offense? And to me, it came down to he had a lot of problems with the connection he had with Josh Allen. And this is a Week 18 matchup against the Jets, and we're going to pull some clips from this game to show you what I mean. The first one being he's on the bottom of our screen, and he's just going to find the soft spot in the zone and sit down. But as this play goes on, we're going to see that it was indeed an incomplete pass. Now, whose fault was this? And we can really start to get a better sense what happened when we look at the end zone view of things. So we're going to see Josh Allen immediately lock on Gabriel Davis, and he's going to sit down. And right here, Gabriel Davis saw when he was running his route, and he senses this linebacker that's going to come in and try and make a play on this ball. So what he does is when he plants his foot, he's going to start drifting back to the sidelines, and this is going to kind of become a pseudo out route where if Josh Allen hits him on his upfield shoulder, he's going to take it because there's a lot of green in front of him. Now, when we see this ball get incomplete, we have to look at where it was, because if Gabriel Davis stayed where he was at, that would have hit him right in the numbers. So was this Josh Allen's fault? Was it Gabriel Davis's fault? And to me, it's just them not being on the same page. We see Brady and Gronk have this connection where they share the same mind, and we start to realize how important this is to have. And to run through some more examples more quickly, this is a 4th and 4, a huge play, and then we look to the top of your screen. They're just not on the same page with the landing spot. And now, again, to the top of your screen, Gabriel Davis not being ready for the ball. Does this have anything to do with Gabriel Davis's traits or Josh Allen's ability? No, it's all about them not being on the same page as this ball sails 20 yards over Gabriel Davis's head as he snaps it off with a curl when Josh Allen wanted him to keep going on a streak. And so I think Gabriel Davis not being the #2 had nothing to do with his ability, but as we're going to see, his trust and his connection with Josh Allen exponentially grew. But just a few more examples, him not being ready for the ball over the middle of the field, and now very uncharacteristically from Josh Allen. And on a play like this, we get to see where Gabriel Davis is really best at, his fluidity with his deep routes down the field as he takes this inside release, pushes it back outside past the sticks, and then back up the field, putting the corner in an absolute blender. And everything just seems to be right. He has a clean pocket. He's able to step up. He just overthrows it on this play. And we're going to go back to this Carolina game one more time where we see Gabriel Davis win his one-on-one matchup at the top of your screen and just outside of his fingertips. But that leads us to the question, how do you build this sort of connection when we see how important it is for the quarterback and receiver to be on the same page? Because not every time it's just going to be a certain route and you're going to stick to it. You really have to share the same mind. In the very next week in the wild card round against the Patriots, I really think we started to see Gabriel Davis and Josh Allen get on the same page, and this was the first step to what got them ready for that Kansas City game. And I think a great way you can start is running these RPOs, and it started to show the trust that Josh Allen had in Gabriel Davis. So not only is it an RPO where it's a designed run, but what kind of RPO it is really matters, because you're either going to be reading space, where if all of this clears out and he can find the safe spot in the zone, he can just put it over the top and you find him right here. But what he sees is it's going to be man coverage. And so when it is man coverage and he decides to pull it and let it rip, that's him saying that I trust you to win this one-on-one matchup. And that's some faith you can only really have in your number one and number two. You're not going to do this with your fifth option. But that's exactly what he did here early in the game against the Patriots, where he's going to fake this RPO. He's going to pull it because he sees Gabriel Davis have this one-on-one matchup. He's going to throw it to him, and it's going to be a touchdown. This was huge, and it didn't stop here. And I really don't think this historic Kansas City Chiefs game would have happened at all if it wasn't for this game right prior. Again, we have an RPO. We have Gabriel Davis on a skinny post, and Josh Allen is going to be reading this safety. If he comes up to defend the run, then he knows he has Gabriel Davis one-on-one. And that's exactly what happens. So he decides to pull it. He trusts Gabriel Davis. He wins the matchup, and it's another huge touchdown in this game. And this is where we get to see the same sort of philosophy come out, because now we're in a huge playoff game. There's a minute and 4 seconds left before the second half. They're driving to try to tie it up or take the lead. And now it's 3rd and 4. And look at where Josh Allen's eyes go immediately the whole time. Whereas a majority through the season, Gabriel Davis was on clear routes, backside digs, being the 3rd or 4th option on any given route concept. He sees that he has man-to-man coverage, and he now has the trust in him to win this rep, because pre-snap, we're going to see Stephon Diggs at the bottom of the screen. We're going to see the safety rolling over the top. And even though the safety bails out and leaves Diggs one-on-one, which was very uncharacteristic for this game in general, what Josh Allen sees pre-snap is he sees Gabriel Davis one-on-one, 3rd and 4, right before half. Can he go ahead and win this matchup? And he doesn't create enough separation, but he knows he's the receiver. He has the traits. He's one of the only receivers on the Bills team that has this big body to box out receivers. So immediately early on in the game, we see this trust start to build. And like I said, it only exponentially builds from here. And now just a couple plays later, we see a safety over the top to try and help out on Diggs. We see, believe this is Cole Beasley coming in motion. We see someone follow him, clear tell of man coverage. But what Josh Allen sees pre-snap is I have my man, Gabriel Davis, on one-on-one coverage. And now that they know early on in this game that they're going to be doubling Diggs, they can start designing plays, because getting the ball to receiver is one thing. Having the play designed for you is a completely different level of trust. So what they're going to try and do is get some sort of rub concept. As Gabriel Davis attacks up the field and Cole Beasley attacks the flat, they're going to try and get these two to run into each other. And now I could be wrong, but I watched this play over and over and over again. The corner does fall on this play. It's a wide open touchdown. But when I watch Josh Allen on where he separates the ball right here, he separates the ball right now. He starts to make this separation. Gabriel Davis is hip to hip with the corner right now, and Josh Allen is loading up to throw this ball. So I think he's trying to high point it, get a one-on-one contested catch. And when he throws it, I think it's very lucky that the corner ended up falling, and it makes it look like he made this read later. But genuinely, I don't think so. I think this already started to show the trust that he has and allow Gabriel Davis in this huge of a moment to go up and win a 50-50 contested catch. And now is where we can start to have a lot of fun, because now we get to see where Gabriel Davis really is able to elevate this Bill teams as a receiver. As they're going to be in 2-man, he's going to push it down the field. And what the goal of his route is to push the safety back as deep as possible so Dawson Knox can come on this over route, and this sweet spot gets much bigger because the safety's deeper and they can get behind the linebackers, which is going to be created with this play action. And this is why I cannot wait for the 2022 season, because Josh Allen has an arm like this and Gabriel Davis has the skill set like this to beat over the top a too high safety. This is not what this design was meant to do, but he was able to clear over the top of two deep safeties, and it's supposed to be a clear route. He has the speed, he has the fluidity down the field to make this happen, and Josh Allen can capitalize if they don't think they're going to go ahead and throw this ball. And now this is where it all starts to come together. It's crunch time, 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and everything in that wild card matchup and up to this point in this game has allowed this to happen, because now we have Stefon Diggs. They're going to be running some sort of smash on this side of the screen, and immediately Josh Allen's going to peek over here for just a second just to see Diggs being doubled once again as we have 3 over 2. But now we have Gabriel Davis working one-on-one. We've seen him win 50-50 contested catches, but we've also seen him break off corners on double moves and get wide open down the field. So this is immediately where Josh Allen's eyes goes. He just takes a peep down to the bottom of your screen, as we're going to see, to Stefon Diggs. And then as we see, we have 3 over 2, and there's clearly doubled. There's not going to be anything. He looks to the top of your screen, and his eyes locking on Gabriel Davis, and now he's just waiting to see if he's going to create any separation on this route. And as he plants his foot and makes his way upfield, the corner is now doing prayers, and Josh Allen could essentially punt this ball to him if he wanted to. This was so huge in the game. We thought this was going to be the last possession. But for Josh Allen to even look in his direction in this big of a situation and be able to count on him and not panic, and Gabriel Davis able to capitalize, this was one of the biggest plays of the entire game. And after that play right there, in my head, Gabriel Davis was the solidified number 2 receiver on this team. And now we're driving with not much time left to go. We have less than 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. Who's he looking for? My man, Gabriel Davis. And now to the top of your screen, man coverage. Huge play, only 49 seconds left to go in the game. Can you trust him to win this matchup? And again, yes, all of the things, all of the not being on the same page throughout the entire regular season. This is why I think exponentially they grew into growing the same mind and being here. And then this last play with 13 seconds left. And this is where you see the Brady Gronk connection. As he takes this inside release, we're looking at the middle of your field right now. He gets in, but then he's going to start to hedge outside, back, work his way back out to the middle of the field into the hashes. Josh Allen's loading up to throw. He still hasn't turned, but now he knows to break it off if he's going to be able to make it between the nickel corner and the safety, right on the money. So the progression from that Week 18's Jets game to right now is so huge, and it cannot be stated enough. And I think he started to feel a lot as a rookie, as he was so gifted as a receiver. But as the Bills team got better, there was a lot more competition. And then they started to use his ability of how great of a run blocker he was to see the field more and more, consistently winning his blocking assignments and being an amazing second level blocker for Devin Singletary to break for these longs run, or he would crash down and set the edge on a defensive lineman, allowing the right tackle to get downfield on a pull. He is the only Bills receiver that has this really large side. He uses his body to snag the balls out of the air, and his ability to catch the ball on the sidelines and toe tap inbounds is second to very few in the league, if any. He's a great deep ball threat in the sense that his second level route running is exceptional. But this film analysis to show is why he's gaining the trust of Josh Allen and why he's going to be a huge part of this Bills offense, and less of what makes him good, but why I think he's going to have an exceptional 2022 season. And as we watch the season progress together, we are going to see his talent as a wide receiver start to unleash. But I wanted to take it a step deeper, so when you're watching with your friends and families, you'll be able to tell them why. We went from someone who was just another option on this team to the option behind Stefon Diggs. And my guess is he's going to go from having a 500-yard season to 1,100, 1,200-plus yard season. So no, I don't make videos for fantasy football, but if you want to take it as that, so be it. If you want to take him in the later round, I think he's going to be an absolute steal. But I just enjoy being on the forefront of guessing people that are going to have breakout seasons and who I could see very likely being a Pro Bowler this year. But that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to like this video if you like videos like these. Make sure to comment down below what you think about Gabriel Davis and kind of his progression throughout this season and what he's going to look like in the Bills offense next year. And make sure to subscribe if you enjoy daily sports content. Thank you guys so much for checking out the channel. And as always, I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.